All right. Welcome to our first team call for 2021. Happy New Year. I'm so excited to see your faces. Um, so just before we get started on our topic of inviting tonight, I just wanted to make sure you guys saw a couple things in the team page. Obviously, our 9-week
Just
control freak
try.
group kicked off. If you're not muted, can you please mute? On the 4th. So that is rocking and rolling. It's so high energy right now, so feel free to continue adding people and promoting that and sharing it. Obviously, as we go along, it's totally fine if people are a week or 2 or 3 behind. um, we can keep it rocking and rolling, and I'm sure that some people are probably going to be doing a second round. So I think it's really important that we keep promoting that, especially now that we're doing it and we're experiencing it and like loving it. I don't know about you guys, but I like love the setup of these workouts so much. It's so refreshing to have something so new and different. So let's keep sharing 9-week control freak. Also, Kelly and I are going to be continuing to offer mentoring hours. They're going to be on Thursdays. So I linked in the team page today what the dates are for this month. But we're kind of swapping weeks. So one week it's going to be 11 a.m. That's going to be this Thursday, as in tomorrow, 11 a.m. Next week, I'll be hosting it at 8 p.m. on Thursday, and then back and forth, it'll go 11 to 8. So if you're home during the day and you can hop on those mentoring hours, if you can't and you work and nighttime works better for you, know that we have that 8 p.m. mentoring hour also. Those are designed for you guys to hop on and ask questions you have about business, or if you're hitting a block with your inviting, or you're struggling with what to share on social media, or you're not sure how to share the coaching opportunity. Anything and everything that you want to discuss for your business, we are offering those mentoring hours for you guys to have that constant support and resource of guidance. So we hope to see more of you on those, because we're really excited to run them. The next thing is that for this month, we're gonna try out, instead of doing a new coach thread and also a Success Club Rally thread, anytime someone on the team hits Success Club 2 or above, meaning you have changed one or more lives, you're gonna get popped into our Success Club Business Builders pod. So it's gonna be a Facebook message. We can share invites, we can connect, we can do accountability, whatever it is, share best business practices, but you definitely want to make sure you're in there, because that is definitely a great way to stay motivated and connected and ask questions, and just feel that hype and the team support of being involved with people that are really running with the business this year. So, and the last thing is, we're going to be working on revamping our team training. We still have the action takers page. The information is great, but it's not really been an interactive group. So that's going to be coming soon, revamped, so that we have a really awesome training to put new coaches in. And those of you that are still wanting to get more acquainted with the basics, will have that available too. So tonight we're going to kick off talking about inviting. I was chatting with Kelly earlier because I have some really big goals for my business this year and for moving forward with our team this year. I really want to push for 10-star diamond this year, which is a scary, incredibly large push goal, and also for us to be an elite team this year. And I wanted to talk to you guys about this
Hey
because we
guys.
talked a lot at the end of the year, about getting clear on your vision for your business, about getting clear on business goals that you have and how those are going to serve your life, or if there's rank advancements you want to be reaching, or income goals that you want to be growing. Inviting really is that number one vital behavior that makes our business grow. We cannot just show up to the business and not invite and expect to see results. That is why we're talking about inviting tonight, because I think it's really important that you not only have a good mindset about inviting, but you feel confident in inviting, and also kind of so you know what to say and what to do, so that we can start this year with everyone on the same page, ready to run, ready to rally, because I would love nothing more than to see so many of you have the successes and reach the goals that you are striving for in your businesses this year. So we're going back to talking about the basics all through this month and probably next month too. Tonight we're going to talk about inviting, obviously. Next week we're going to talk about following up effectively, which I know is something that a lot of you have said to me. I feel weird about following up. I don't want to bother people. I don't know what to say when people ghost me or they don't answer or they say they're interested. So next week, we're talking all about follow-ups. And then the following week, we're going to talk about overcoming objections, which is a big one. So when you get price objections or people say, I don't want to drink Shakeology, whatever it is, objections that you're running into, we're going to talk about those. And then the week to follow, I just want to make sure you guys know we have a Meet the Team event, and Meet the Team events are where we share the coaching opportunities. So a handful of us will talk about our experiences, how we got started with coaching, what it's done for our lives, and it is one of the most effective ways for you, especially if you're not necessarily super confident yet sharing coaching on your own, to get people involved in the business. And if you really want to grow a successful business, it is so important to share this with other people so that they can have the gift of coaching to change their lives, but to grow their teams and grow your business alongside you, because the more coaches we have in our team, the more lives we're able to impact. So I made a little, I'm trying to get better about making slides for team calls so that you guys just don't have to hear me yap for long periods of time. So I'm going to screen share and try to run through this pretty quickly. And like I said, a couple coaches are going to share their tips at the end, and then we'll open it if you have specific questions about inviting or what to say or problems you're running into. We'll do some time for that at the end. So, can you guys see my screen now? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
All right, stand by. Okay. All right. Let's talk about inviting. It's actually kind of hard to come up with the content for an inviting call because there's so many things you could cover about mindset and about how to do it and about what to say and all of that. But I'm hoping that these are some really good basics to get you kicked off and started with, to feel confident going into this year about how to get out there and invite effectively and confidently, because those are both really important, because it is the key to growing your impact, your income, reaching your business goals, and obviously rocking your business. Let's hope my computer will move quickly with me. Okay. So I wanted to talk about mindset first because I think this is the most important part, and I have some kind of fill in the blanks here at the bottom for you guys to kind of gauge where how you're feeling when it comes to invites. So confidence is so key in our business, as is belief. And one of the best ways to develop that is to commit to a program, start to finish, follow a nutrition plan, get results, because when you feel and experience that transformation, you are so much more confident in sharing what we have to offer, right? And the more that you get out there and get uncomfortable and face those fears and invite, the more confident and competent you're going to get. The better you're going to get at wording, the less uncomfortable it's going to be, the more it's going to feel like second nature to go out and do this. So if it feels really awkward for you, don't worry, that's totally normal. I think I felt that way for quite some time before I started getting my groove of how to talk to people, and you're just going to grow with it as you go, but it is key that you are doing it. So I want you to think about, before you sit down and do your invites, how this has changed your life and connect to that feeling. It's a very different feeling sitting down to invite people thinking, I have to hit Success Club 6 this month, right? I have to find 3 people that say yes to me so I can get those points, versus if you sit down and you think about how this journey, these fitness programs, this community, personal growth, nutrition, all of the things, the friendships, how that has changed your life, and you sit down to inviting with that energy. Keith Callahan has been a really great mentor. He is Elizabeth Harkey's upline. If you're not familiar, he's incredibly successful. And I remember when I was a new coach, one of the things he told me was to set a big goal and then forget about it and focus on serving other people. So approaching this business with the mindset of instead of what can I get versus what can I give. So if you approach your work with that, what can I give and how can I serve mentality, you're going to realize that it takes a shift off of you and it puts it onto the people you're helping. And in doing so, when we take that focus off of ourselves, it helps you have less fear, because it's not so much about you anymore and what you can get and how many points you can hit. It's about who can I help? How can I change their lives? How can I serve them? Now, this reaching out part that I put and selling versus sharing and making an impact is another mindset shift that I really like. And I actually was reading something from Bob Helig about this, where he says, when you have that mindset of, I need to sit down and reach out to people today, it's still having a selling mindset, right? And when we're thinking about this from a salesy perspective, we feel more shy and more insecure to send invites, versus if we go into inviting thinking I'm sharing a gift and I'm making an impact. It's kind of the same thing about what I just said, but really think about that for a second. Are you going into invites feeling like you're selling someone something, or are you going into invites feeling like you're sharing something with someone? That's really important. So I wrote out these kind of sentences at the bottom for you. Again, I'll post these in the team page so that you can go through them if you want, just to kind of gauge where you're at, and how you feel about inviting, because how you feel is going to determine how much action you take, right? If you feel like invites are hard and scary and uncomfortable and all of these things, you're probably not going to sit down and invite very often, right? This is why it's really important to shift your mindset about inviting. So when I sit down to invite, I feel blank. We should feel excited, right? When I sit down and I send an invite, I feel hopeful. When I do my invites, I feel, personally, I love when I accomplish what I'm supposed to do to move my business forward and make an impact, right? I feel consistent, I feel accomplished, I feel like a badass business owner that's taking action. When I work my business consistently, I can trust that blank, fill in how you feel. I will find people who need my help and want what I have to offer. Like that faith and that trust in the process, that if we keep showing up and we keep inviting, we will eventually find those people who need our help. The fact that we have a team full of incredible women is proof. When I tell someone about my challenge group or coaching, I know blank that this can completely change their life, right? So really think about this one for a second, because sometimes we think when I tell someone about my challenge group or when I tell someone about coaching, they're going to think that I'm trying to make money off them, or they're going to be really skeptic about what I'm inviting them to, or they're going to think it's a pyramid scheme. There's so many things, there's so many fears and feelings that come up for this. And so I really want you guys to take these sentences, if it would be helpful to you, and jot out how it is you want to feel about these things, and then work on that. If you sit down and you're like, I feel overwhelmed, I want you to remember that feeling anxious is the same feeling physically in your body as feeling excited. We just have to choose in our mind how to look at it, right? So if you're feeling anxious and you're feeling nervous, remember that you can easily shift into, I am so excited, and then go do it and crush it. And you will see how amazing you feel once you show up. Okay, consistency is key. And I think this is one, we hear all the time, consistency is key to building your business. Consistency is key to growing your income, all of that stuff. But I think sometimes we forget that it can take a lot longer to reach our goals than we think it is. We always say, be here a year from now. I always say, be here 3 years, 5 years from now. There are people that I help in my business now, almost 7 years in, that I have talked to for years, or people that fell off 4 years ago and then they signed back up, right? There is no way for you to know how successful you could be if you would just consistently show up and be patient and persistent. So what I wanted to share here is the importance of tracking, because what we can track, we can improve. And sometimes we might be struggling to hit success club, say in our business, right? And we're like, I don't really know, every single month, I feel like I post all the time and I'm doing my workouts and I'm sharing in my stories, but I can't find people that want to join me. If you're not tracking your work, your business invites, right, it's very hard to know where we can improve. But if you are tracking your business and you can look at it and say, well, I invited 3 people on Tuesday and I invited 4 on Friday and I didn't invite the next 4 days, then you can look at it and think, okay, well, what if I actually invited 10 people a day or 15 people a day? When we are not hitting Success Club in this business, and I want to make this very clear because I hear this from coaches a lot. If you are not hitting Success Club, it does not mean that you suck. It does not mean that you can't build a business. It does not mean that you can't find people to help. It does not mean that you're a shitty coach. It does not mean that you can't hit any of the big goals you have in this business. We take missing goals like that so personally, and I get it because this business, we see in our team page coaches that hit goals consistently. We see other people in the business having success, and sometimes we think, well, why can they, but I can't, right? I don't want you to take it personally when you miss goals. I want you to look at it as a way of, okay, what can I improve? What can I change? What can I shift? What can I do differently? Or what can I do more consistently to get the outcome I'm looking for? Because no coach in this business is any different. We're all sharing the same challenge packs, the same programs, the same products, Shakeology, it's all the same price. It's just how consistently we're out there, how persistently we're doing it, how patient we're being about looking for the people we're wanting to help, and how proactive we are about shifting things in our business when something is not working. So I really, really hope that you guys will remember that this year. If something is not working for you in your business, it's an opportunity for you to reflect and change things moving forward and do it differently. So if you're not hitting Success Club, it just means you need to connect with more people, consistently send more invites, show up and stay the course. Because when you consistently show up for your journey and sharing, people know, like, and trust you, right? And I'll give you an example of this. I've had people over the years come to me and say that they signed up with so-and-so. And I just had this happen 2 weeks ago. And a girl said, I signed up with a sorority sister that I went to college with, and after 2 months, she was gone. I never heard from her again. I really want to have success in my fitness journey. Do you think you could help me? Is there a way that I can switch over as a customer to you? If you are showing up consistently, people know that they can always come to you because you are always there. When your life is hard, when your life is easy, no matter what, rain or shine, we're all not perfect, but if you're showing up consistently, it allows people to feel like they can trust you to come to because they know you're going to be there, right? So that's super important too.
Hey, Dana.
Yes, go for it.
Can you let anybody? I think I have a coach waiting in the waiting room.
Oh, yeah. Where do I even see that on here? Oh, okay. I think I got her. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Oops. I don't know how to close this now. Okay. Okay, this is another big one mindset wise. Don't attach to outcomes and don't make assumptions. I always like to refer back to this that I learned very early on in coaching, and it's like the coffee mentality. So a server at a diner offers coffee to every single person that comes in the diner. She doesn't care who says no, or I don't want coffee, or I don't like coffee, or I prefer tea, or I like decaf, or I want water. She confidently and excitedly shows up to her job every single day and offers everyone coffee. And the point of sharing that with you is to say that's kind of the mindset we need to have in our business. Some people want what you have to offer, some don't. Do not take it personally when people are not interested in what you are doing in terms of a challenge group or coaching, right? There are people out there that are going to be coffee fanatics and become lovers of Beachbody and wanting to join you, right? It's just the important part of this is to show up with the same excitement to invite every single day. We all get no's. We all have people that ghost us. We all have people say yes and then disappear or get a share cart and then are nowhere to be found. We all have people say no, not right now, or no, that's too expensive, or it's just not the right timing for me. it is totally normal. I want to make sure everybody knows that. The more invites you do, the more no's you're going to get. The more people are not going to respond, right? It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It is totally normal for that to happen. Keep showing up, keep sharing, keep inviting. You will find your people. Okay, inviting authentically. So over the years, many times I have made a Google document of Power Hour scripts. And in those scripts, I mean, I'm sure they're helpful to some and maybe not to others. I don't know. But sharing scripts that I personally use in my business, like invites that I have crafted to put in the notes section of my phone to refer to when I am doing work, right? The thing is that my scripts may not work for you, or what Kelly says to her people may not work for you, or what Maggie reaches out and says to people she invites might not work for you, right? Because we all talk different, we speak different, we share different. The way that you post on social media is different. And so although you can maybe kind of take the same framework for an invite or for a follow-up, it is super important to invite authentically in a way that feels good to you and in your wording and your voice. So I heard this from Kate Schultz. She's a top 10 coach, and she said, invite the way that you would want to be invited. And so I put this in big words. If you don't want to be salesy, don't be salesy. I know when I started this business, I did not want to be salesy. I did not want to feel like a car salesman that was sleazy and scamming people and annoying people, right? So I decided to really work on building genuine relationships and posting things that were vulnerable and would connect with people so that I could build relationships and build that know, like, and trust factor so that when I invited people, they knew it was genuine, right? And I'm pretty wordy with my invites. I share a lot of kind of intentions behind why I'm inviting them, and I drop a lot of emojis and things like that. So I wanted to prompt you guys to think about messages that you have received. I don't know about you guys, but I get messages on Instagram a lot of like, hey, you should buy my shampoo, or like, you should buy me this lipstick, or whatever. What messages did you enjoy getting from people? I will say I've gotten some messages from women that are involved in Savvy, the fitness clothing business, and they've actually been genuine invites that I didn't mind getting. It was flattering. It was like, hey, you're super fit. You wear really cute clothes. I think you'd really love this. Would you like to check out my business? And it was a really genuine message that I received well, right? But then there are messages that I get that I just think, did this person even look at my page and see what I do before they just asked me to buy whatever it is they just sent me a link to, right? So think about messages you have received, wording that is used. What do you enjoy getting? What did you think was annoying or icky or salesy that you didn't like? And work to invite people in the way that you would want to be invited to Beachbody. So it's key to invite in a way that feels authentic to you. And I say this because the more authentic it feels to you, the better you feel doing it and the more invites you're going to send.
Dana, can I just jump on that for 1 second?
Yes. Yep. Chime in anytime.
Something as simple as, and sometimes people don't think about this, is just as simple as making sure you've gone to someone's page and you've actually said their name. Like it sometimes is so simple. Because we, like Dana said, we've all had people, and there's someone that wrote me this week, and clearly she didn't even look at what I do, because if she did and she looked at my page, she would not have invited me to be a Beachbody coach. Like it was like you didn't even take like 2 seconds to look to see what I do. You just sent like a message to anyone, and I know a lot of the things that I tried to change this past year was making sure that I am legit saying the person's name. I might have certain things that are scripted as like my initial, like, hey guys, thanks so much for reaching, and we'll get into that part later, but I might have a nuts and bolts of what I want to say for that first message the same, and it might be in my saved quick replies, so it saves my fingers, but I'm always going to put their name. And then pretty much right after I do that first message, there's going to be a whole lot of voice messages that are going on after that, because it makes, I think, people just look human real. They hear your excitement. They hear that you mess up words. They hear that you're not scripted all the time. And they hear my dogs bark in the background and my kids screaming, and they like, life is like a chaos in my house. And then I laugh and I'm like, dude, I'm really sorry. Like, clearly you just heard the shit show that just happened in my house. Like, and it makes everything humanized. And I do think it's great for people to see, like, we aren't perfect. We are completely messes at times. This is normal world. And like, we've taken time to connect to them, and we at least know something about them by going to their page. And you can usually tell some connection with them within looking at their first, 4 or 5 posts. So use their names and don't do the hey girl, because we all know we don't want to be the hey girl.
Yes, I do that too, Kelly. I started using first names in my messages as well. I think that's really important. Okay, who do I invite? So sometimes we sit down and we're like, who do I talk to today? Like, who do I invite? I don't know. I don't have anybody to invite, right? So basically, I would say anyone who follows your page, as in a lot of where I'm inviting from on Instagram right now is going to my followers and hitting in the search bar, like literally going through the letter of the alphabet. So I type in A and I go invite all my followers that are A names. And then I'll go to B the next day and go invite all the followers that are Bs, right? So anyone who follows your page, anyone who follows your posts, anyone who follows your stories, I personally work both Instagram and Facebook. I built pretty much my whole business on Facebook. But I am working Instagram now as well. So you have to decide where it is you feel like you get the most traction. Like, do you have more people watch your Instagram stories or your Facebook stories? Are you getting engagement on your Facebook posts more than you are on Instagram? But anyone who is following something you share is interested in something you're doing. People don't follow people that they are not interested in. Like, I say this all the time because it's like, well, they haven't interacted with anything or commented on anything. But if they're following you for a reason, right? I personally don't follow anybody on social media that I don't like what they share. I unfollow them, right? So people, if they're following you, they're interested in something you're doing. Your job is to connect with them and figure out why. And I also just want to touch on this, and I can maybe tie this into our follow-up call, but this is why networking and connecting and adding value and being present on social media and building relationships is key, because if we are not working on that networking and connecting component, we eventually feel like we run out of people to talk to, right? We're inviting the same people over and over, or following up with the same people over and over. It is key to be networking and getting new eyes on what you're sharing and what you're doing, so that you have more people to invite. Also, just to think about, like, in our new coach training, we typically do a list of 100 people to start with. So you can jot out, there's actually a call in the Beachbody Champions by Rob Pearson, and it's about hitting Emerald, but he literally goes through like a bajillion categories of people that you could think about of who to invite. And it's like your doctor, your dentist, the postman, the moms at your friend's school, your work friends, your high school friends. Like, I know the first 2 years of my business, the majority of the people I signed up were people that I had worked with, or people that I went to high school with, or people that I had swam on swim teams with. Like, you can invite anyone, right? You can invite anyone. We never necessarily run out of people to talk to, but it might take you a little bit of planning. This is helpful for me. If I sit down and I think about who I'm going to be inviting that day, where am I inviting them from? So we're going to get to that next. Not this one.
I'm in 1 second again.
Yeah.
Going back, one of the very big reasons, and I strongly feel like when we think about all the different things that are out there, I have nothing clearly against MLMs. Like, whatever you are passionate about and anything that you love and that has helped you and speaks to you and can help you in whatever capacity you're looking for, so be it. Like, people have to look at a lot of different ways to try to help provide for their families or for themselves. And one of the biggest things I think that we have to offer in general is that what we give, and you have to really think about this mentality, what we give is helping people's health. Like, bottom line, we there's only so many workout clothes. Although I know we could all have like a million workout clothes like every single day of the week. There's only so many workout clothes and leggings you need. There's only so much makeup you can have. Clearly I never put any on. You can only so many like hair products you can get. Clearly I don't do that either. Clearly I look like a hot mess half the time. But there's peace, like awesome to everyone that falls in love with that. But we are truly not the reason why this hasn't gone away, and so many of us are here 5 years later, 6 years later, 10 years later. Number one is because this company has been around for a very, very, very long time. And number two, there is not anyone on your friends list or family list that could not benefit from moving their body, from proper nutrition, and having a supportive community to help them achieve that. Whether it's simple breaking down, my dad has high cholesterol, throw some Shakeology, get him on a nutrition plan. Whether it's your Aunt Betty, that needs to get moving because she is pre-diabetes. There's so many different reasons why this is helpful. So that's what I now go into, like the nursing hat of me, of I know how much this could help half of our country for half of the issues that are happening. And it's so, I don't know, it's a disservice to us to not let people know about that, because there are things out there that are costing thousands and thousands of dollars for just exercise equipment, but we're able to give them for $160 fitness and nutrition and a supportive community. And it also includes meals. Like, it's crazy when you think about what we have. And I think that's when it's easy to share. It's easy to share when you do that. And the sales feeling goes out the window. So like this is just like, I don't know, it's just mind boggling to me.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's not just someone purchasing a product, it's someone joining an experience. Like what we do is truly an experience. And I think too, what you're saying about, it's like, I think one of the things that people don't have any understanding of until they get involved in it, and then it becomes one of the most game-changing parts of it, is the community, right? Like it's the positivity, it's the new friendships, it's the like-minded people, it's the people who are working on growing and striving and goals. And you're totally right that there are so many reasons to be passionately inviting anyone to this.
Facebook or Instagram, and it's almost every single post is how 2020 has been a horrific year for them. And of course, for all of us, it's been horrific because we've dealt with this unbelievable pandemic, which has all changed our lives in some capability. But what I have to then think about too, is I'm looking at all these people that are saying like they are at, and even people that are coming into my office, the volume of people that are getting diagnosed with diabetes over this period of time, the weight has been a massive change for people, like massive change of all ages. It's almost every one of my phone calls of every single person of all ages. The weight increase, the lack of being able to exercise or safety, feeling comfortable being able to exercise and eating, whatever they want. And I know I could do better on some of the things. My wine consumption clearly went up during COVID. However, I look at it and I'm like, I didn't have that weight gain. I didn't feel my absolute worst. I actually feel like I might have started to feel I was able to almost focus sometimes more on my health. And it was because we had the tools to be able to do it. So it saddens me to see all these people feel like they had nothing. They didn't have that community. But when we were all really in pandemic, like everyone was really stuck at home for a period of time, our virtual gyms were flying off the charts. The amount of people that were in their community, and there were all people that were trying to help themselves. And at that point, that is like the biggest outlet we could give anyone, is the okay to allow them to focus on themselves. And most places didn't have that at all. They had to really turn corners to figure out how they were going to do that. Like for those that were at gyms in different places, and people had to think outside the box, which is great, but we already had that in check. It was just a matter of us continuing what we normally would do, and just make it even better. So
yeah, and I feel like it also gives you routine and structure no matter how chaotic life is. And it's also it helps you work on mental health too, which is huge right now. Okay.
So I had a quick thing to add. Like when it comes, like there are so many facets to like why this is such an amazing solution. Like, we could list them for days.
Yes.
But going back to what, Kelly and Dana, you kind of touched on it too, but like going to other people with like a servant heart, right? You want to help anyone because this is like it has truly helped you. And so you have to remember that servant attitude whenever you approach, because I know inviting for me was like scary. Like, and I definitely probably copied and pasted some of Dana's invites as well.
Hey, got you somewhere, Mary Paige.
Like, I'm sure, it just like, it's scary at first, but it's all about the mindset, and the mindset piece is like that one, that's the little bit of this community that you don't realize how much it does affect not only your health journey, but your business too. Like, you now have a better way to approach, honestly, anything.
Life.
And life, like if you come at it from a different angle and stop thinking about it as just being like, oh, I'm trying to sell a product, I'm being too pushy. No, you're not. You are literally sharing something that has changed your life, whether it's been for the last month or the last 4 years, it doesn't matter. It's something that has really helped you, and so stand behind it. And so just my 2 cents there.
Yeah, I love the focus on that so much, and I just want to like retouch, because it kind of goes with what you said, but if you are not feeling fired up to share this, then it just might be a time where you really need to go all in on yourself. Because I think sometimes we as coaches, we've been around so long, we've been doing the workouts so long, myself included, like I've hit points, especially even like last year, at the beginning of the year, kind of where I chose to like really go all in on 10 rounds because I felt kind of disconnected. Like, we might just be going through the motions. Well, I'm doing workouts, but I'm not really pushing, or I'm eating well, but I'm not following a nutrition plan, and I'm drinking my Shakeology sometimes, but not all the time. And I'm doing personal development here and there, but like, it is such a different energetic feeling, and the way that you show up for your business when you are like really committed all in to working on yourself. Because when you feel fired up and you are seeing change, and you are, like, you're inspired in your own life, and you're reading personal development that just makes you like fired up, that's the energy you show up to your business with. And like Mary Paige said, then it just becomes, I want to tell everybody about this because I feel so damn good. I can't help but tell other people about this, especially like what Kelly said, when you see that so many people are struggling right now and what we have to offer can help them. Okay, so the next thing needs to be, what am I inviting to? And this is really important. You can't invite people if you don't know what you're inviting to. So you always have to have something to invite to, or you won't do it. So when is your next challenge group? Or are you still inviting to 9-week Control Freak that we just kicked off? I have an ongoing wellness community, so it's something that I can invite to all month long, even though I spelled that wrong. Do you have a free group that you want to run? I know we have a great template that Mary Paige made for a free week where you can run. So you can run a free group. If it's intimidating to invite to a challenge group for you, start a free group this month. Invite people to do a week of workouts and following a nutrition plan. It's literally all in there for you. All you have to do is schedule it and invite people to it and run it. People will not say no to something free most of the time, right? And most people want to work on health and fitness or wellness or weight loss or mental health or whatever it is, right? Get people in those free groups, and then you turn around and you say, is this something you would like to do more long term? I would love to talk to you about my wellness community or my next boot camp or whatever it is, right? When is our next Meet the Team event? When did I say it was? On the 27th of this month. We have a Meet the Team event that you can be sharing about and inviting to. So just kind of for reference, at least a week before. So starting on at least the 20th, if not like the 17th, start talking about coaching, what the coaching community has done for you, what it's offering for your family, how it's helping you pay for your products, how it helped you take out for date night. Like, share those little wins about coaching and share what coaching is doing for your life and also what you're building. It's really powerful to share your vision for this business, or where you're going, or why are you actually coaching? Like, right? Like, I know I don't often enough share personally why I build my coaching business and I strive for bigger goals, right? I talk a lot about purpose and impact and health and fitness and all of those things, but I know I need to personally work on publicly sharing my bigger visions for my business and why, right? Those things inspire people because people see that you're going somewhere and you're doing something that they want to be a part of. So talking about coaching in that week leading up to the Meet the Team event, so that coming up to that, you can invite people to join us. You can share on your stories about it. You can make a post inviting them to hop on that call with us. Or when can you schedule a call to chat with someone about coaching? I know this probably sounds stressful for some of you, but I know I invited a lot as a newer coach to meet like sneak peeks that I didn't run because I didn't run any at the time. So I invited to, my uplines. But I also, when I was newer, it felt more comfortable for me to get on the phone and talk to somebody about coaching because I was so excited about it. It was easy to talk to them about. Now, I wouldn't go word vomit everything about the business on them like I did. But if you're truly excited about coaching and you know that somebody might be really good at this, schedule a phone call to hop on and chat with them about it and just be genuine and authentic. But the point of this is being, you always need to be inviting to something. So I want you guys to post in the comments what it is you're inviting to right now as we kick off the year.
And while you guys are doing that, Robin, I know free info groups. I don't know, Dana, do you have that set in Empowered Elite?
Yeah, I think the slide is in the team page. Yes.
Okay.
I'll share it again too after our call and tag Robin. But I also did like a quick I did a free group back in August. It was really successful for me. And so I did like a video on like what happened and like how I set it up, basically using our template that we had already. So I'll tag that too.
Awesome.
I did update because I did a more recent one right after Mary Page, and I did update all the other newer free options, and I kind of changed. I can share that what I changed so that every day was a different program, so they could get a feel for like different trainers and different types of stuff. So I have that I can share as well, but it was just a takeoff, just an update from what Mary Page already had and created. But one of the things, Robin, when you said when someone just likes your post but doesn't comment, this is why posting and being present is so important, because anyone that is following your stories, anyone that likes or comments on any of your stuff, so if you're posting in both arenas, Facebook and Instagram, you have even more people. Any of those people are watching you for a reason. It is open access or fair game. They are giving you permission to reach out to them because they're not going to be surprised because they know what you're doing to some capability. Like they know, clearly you're into fitness, you're into nutrition, but like they're watching you for a reason. If they did not want to watch you, they would just not follow you, or they wouldn't show up in your stories, or they wouldn't like your stuff. So I think those are the easiest people to invite to. And it can be as simple as saying, stuff like, once again, I have this saved, and I always say this, guys, I use quick replies in Instagram, that they're just saved replies. So they're easy, but I just change it and add their name. But I just say simple things like, thanks so much. I've seen your name popping up in my stories so much recently. I super appreciate the support. It's, super scary sometimes letting it all hang out there, but really appreciate it. Are you at all interested in what I'm doing for my, fitness, whatever I say? What do I say? Are you all interested in learning my private wellness community or what I do as a coach? Or are you just being awesome supporting me? Either way, I really appreciate it. Like nothing. Like it's just thanking them and taking that step, because we all know a post is not going to get you to grow a business. It is taking that behind the scenes. And when I do that, it is probably where most of the business comes from. Very rarely does someone just reach out and say like, hey, can I sign up with you? Like that doesn't happen very often. When it does, it's awesome. But it's nice to just go start that conversation because they're scared. I mean, ultimately, when someone knows that they don't feel good about themselves, they feel like they have to lose a lot of weight, they're uncomfortable in their own skin, for them to admit that they need help is really hard. Like, it's almost like you're at rock bottom at that point. It's hard to admit that. It's hard for any of us to admit that. And so when you can step out of your comfort zone and say, hey, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. You know, if there's anything I could do, if you're ever interested in being a part of my groups, you know, let me know. I would love to help you in any way. Boom. It's not salesy. It doesn't feel bad. It's servant heart. And sometimes you're going to get, more often than not, you're going to get, no, you know, thank you so much. I really just love watching you. You know, you're super fun. But, you know, just here for the support. Do I end my conversation there? No. I'm going to keep going back to them, not like 20,000 messages that day, but I'm going to send a message back to them just saying, I really appreciate it. You know, there's, you know, sometimes I'll even say simple things like, you know, social media has its faults, but it really has, you know, some really awesome people out there and I really appreciate it. Boom. And then I'm going to probably, if I sense they're kind of on the edge, like they're kind of maybe might be interested a little bit, I flag people in, you know, my Instagram messages as just a reminder to me to go back, or that's where when you're tracking, you could write their name down and like, you know, as just someone that you're like, okay, maybe in a week I'm going to go back and check out their stuff and like their stuff and just start kind of forming with them. But it's amazing how many times people will say, I wasn't interested, but now that you asked me, I'm curious. And then we start kind of going back and forth in conversations. And typically, you know, my next thing is going to be asking them, you know, a little bit more. I'll tell them a little bit about what I'm doing, but then I'll say, you know, like what about it, you know, makes you curious? Like, is there anything that you feel you struggle with fitness or nutrition wise? Or maybe, you know, why do you feel like you're not where you want to be right now? Like that helps me figure out how to help you best, you know, and you start that dialogue back and forth. But it's super easy things just like that you can connect. Yeah. And free groups are awesome. Sometimes they're good. Well, I was gonna say sometimes they're really great, and next time it's like, there's like nothing. But they are very important, and you should always like have some, and maybe some larger groups of them running.
Okay, when for inviting, right? So it's key to create a sense of urgency. I know a lot of people say like, well, someone was interested and we talked about their goals and I told them what challenge pack I would recommend for them, but then what? Like, how do I get them to the point where they like get the share cart and they fill it out and they sign up? So creating a sense of urgency so that people take action without being pushy is really important. You can say things like, and it's really, this is all about wording. And like I said, the more that you do this, the more confident you get in it, the more competent, the more it's like second nature knowing what to say. You can say like, my group it started on the 4th. I would love to chat more about your goals and see if you're ready to get started working, you know, on them with us this year. It takes this many amount of days, however long shipping is running, to arrive once you order, so I can get the cart sent over to you, so you can get signed up and have it in time to start with us. Yay. Our coaching event is tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. I'd love to have you there. I think you'd be so inspired by everyone's stories and see how amazing this could be for you. Will you join us? Right? So you're extending an invite, you're kind of telling people what they should be doing, but you're not being pushy about it because you're leaving the choice up to them of, yes, I'm ready to get started, or yes, you can send the share cart over, or yes, I would like to join you, like please add me or send me the Zoom link, right? So it gives them that sense of urgency because you're kind of giving them a timeline, but you're not being pushy like, hey, hurry up and sign up tonight, right? So that's really important. Where are you inviting? We already kind of covered this, but you need to know where you're working your business. Instagram, Facebook, email, text, whatever, phone calls. It's most likely going to be social media. I know some coaches are really confident talking to people in person. Something that I do if, you know, I run into people at the store, like people say this at the grocery checkout all the time. Wow, you eat really healthy. Or like, oh, you look really fit. What do you do? And I'll say, hey, like we can be friends on social media and I could send you more information, right? So you can friend request people, talk to people in public if you feel confident. And if you don't, the more you do, the more confident you will feel, right? I'm just checking to see, oh, because Robin needed to get back in here. Okay. But have a game plan when you sit down to work your business so that you are efficient, effective, and focused, because it is so easy. It is so easy to get on Instagram and 20 minutes later, you're looking through people's stories, you're scrolling here, you clicked on this, you clicked on that, right? You're watching somebody make a grilled cheese sandwich and you haven't sent any invites. I like literally have to put the switch on in my brain of like, this is what I'm working on right now. And until this is done, I'm not looking at anything else. And we just have to be disciplined to be efficient and focused when we work our business. And I would say challenge yourself. Like say, I'm going to take the next 20 minutes and I'm going to invite and I'm going to see how many invites I can get done in the next 20 minutes. And I promise you that if you're really working on it, you'll probably get way more done than you think. And it'll help you feel like, okay, I got this. Like I did it today, I can do it tomorrow. And if you show up and you keep doing that consistently, it feels so much simpler. But example, today I'm inviting 15 people who follow me on Instagram. Today I'm inviting all of the people that liked my post last Thursday about my transformation. Today I'm inviting all the people that I talked to you about New Year's goals with. Today I'm inviting everyone that follows my Facebook stories, right? But like having some kind of a game plan of who you're going to invite and where you're going to invite from is important. Okay. So I typed this out and I've never actually done this before, but I figured it could be kind of a template for those of you that are wanting to craft an invite and don't know what to say, right? Like we're like, okay, go invite to 9-week control freak. And you're like, well, what the hell do I say to somebody? Like this is 5 days a week and they're 30-minute workouts and we do a control track and we have like, right. You don't know what to say. So in my brain, when I know what I'm inviting to a sneak peek, I'm inviting to a specific program, I'm inviting to a challenge group. I kind of have this in my mind as a loose of process of what I go through to create an invite. And I do this for anything, right? So I always start with a greeting, like a, hey, how are you? Hey, mama, hey, whatever lingo you use. And share a greeting. So right now it could be Happy New Year. You know, if there's a holiday coming around, whatever, you can share a greeting. Ask a question. How are you? Or how was this that I saw on your page? Or ask them a question to engage them, right? Because it makes it more personal when you do that. It's not just that you're reaching out to them to tell them something. You're reaching out to have a conversation with them. Why are you reaching out to this person? So I often say, kind of like what Kelly was saying, I wanted to thank you for liking my transformation post. I wanted to, thank you for that like on my vulnerable post about my anxiety. I wanted to thank you for whatever. I wondered if you had seen about. So if I posted about a boot camp or I posted about a sneak peek, I will often say something like, I wondered if you had seen me share about the boot camp I'm running in January, or the wellness community I have running for 2021, right? Or I wanted to see if you'd be interested in, so if someone has liked something about health, fitness, coaching, whatever, I might say, I wanted to see if you'd be interested in learning more about what I do as an online wellness coach, right? So what am I inviting them to? I wanted to share with you about my New Year boot camp, or I thought you might be interested in learning about what I do as a coach. Why are you sharing with them? I like to add this in. For me, in my head, I like people to know what my intention is. I know you have liked some of my transformation posts, and I thought maybe you have some wellness goals that you'd like to work on. If so, I'd love to chat with you about them, because this now makes it me sharing what I'm doing, but I'm telling them why I'm reaching out, and it's about them, right? The focus is not on me. You should join my boot camp. It's if you have wellness goals you'd like to work on, I'd love to chat with you about them. Or if you're interested in learning about what I do as a coach, I'd love to talk to you about how it could change your life, right? And then end with a question and excitement. Is that something you're interested in learning about or chatting about? getting more info about, like if I say about a boot camp, is that something you'd like more information about? Have the best day. I look forward to connecting more, right? So you're ending with a question in hopes that they will respond to you. And then, you know, you're just telling them to have a good day or something cheery or happy. And then I drop a bunch of emojis, right? But I was hoping that this, if you can sit down and you can look at this, you could literally work through this and you could craft a very simple, authentic invite for what you're going to say when people like a photo that you share on Instagram about your fitness journey. You could craft an invite of what you're going to say when you want to invite someone to a meet the team event. You could use this to talk about, you know, a free group. You can use this for anything. It's just kind of the bones of how I personally come up with invites. So hopefully it will be helpful to some of you that aren't really sure what to say.
Hey, Dana,
Yep.
on that at the very end, sometimes, and I think I've picked this up from some other leaders, not the Beachbody coach. Who is the Josh Coates guy, right?
Josh Coates, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like listening in on one of his webinars at one point, and he had suggested like give them an easy out. And so this is something that I have added into some of my like the endings. Like I always ask him, like, would that be something you'd be interested in? If not, totally fine. But I thought about you and I thought I'd ask anyway. You know, like give them an easy out, like if it's not, so that they at least they will respond. They might not always respond.
Right.
But you're giving them the option, just like say, like it's kind of what you were just saying. Like you're making it about them. You're
Yeah.
not making it about you.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Okay, I wanted to include this part because for me, you guys, I have been a coach for 7 years, and the way that things have changed over time, a lot of things are the exact same. But for me, I feel like I used to be able to post a transformation photo 7 years ago and I'd get 120 likes on it and I could connect with 70 people from it, right? And that's not always the case now. And I feel like when I was a newer coach, it was more about sharing what I was doing, which a lot of what we do is that. But I think it's more shifted into how do I add value and who do I want to serve and how, like, who do I enjoy helping the most? What problems and struggles do they have? So I wrote these out because they were so simply put on that call. I had my coach friend share, and these questions were like such a game changer for me because I've done so many branding exercises and most of them just made me feel more overwhelmed. But if you think about this, of like, who do you enjoy helping the most? Is it busy working moms that work 9 to 5 that don't have time to get to a gym, that have no clue how to meal plan anything, that have super picky eater kids, you know, that they struggle with their energy, they have a lot of weight to lose? Like, what woman or what person is it that you're looking to help the most, right? What problems and struggles do they have? This is so important to talk about publicly, because if we're not talking about the problems, we can't talk about the solutions we offer, or it doesn't connect the dots of what they're going through versus how we can help them, right? So what solutions do we offer? So, you know, maybe you were somebody that was really struggling with cravings. Like every single night after the kids went to bed, you hit up the pantry and you grabbed the Oreos, and then you were into the potato chips, and then you went on to ice cream, whatever it is. And you can talk about how adding Shakeology has changed the game for you in terms of cravings, or how following a nutrition plan has made you feel, you know, confident and comfortable and free with nutrition, so that you can stay on track and you've lost 50 pounds and you want to help other women do the same thing. How can you use your story to help them see that change is possible for them too? And it's the same thing with coaching, right? I want to connect the dots to this is what you post in public affects your invites in private and vice versa, right? If you invite someone to a challenge group, say, right? If someone invites me to something, I'm not even going to respond to their message. I'm going to go to their page and I'm going to look at their posts. And I'm going to think, does this person share things that I find helpful or inspiring or something that I'd be interested in or want to be a part of? Are they someone that I want to learn from and work with, right? Or trust someone? Do I trust them based off what they're sharing? So just remember that the more you are consistently showing up for your journey and you're being proof that the products work, right? And you're being consistent and you're being real about your struggles and your ups and your downs and, your day-to-day life and your crazy kids and those things, it's going to affect the way people respond to your invites or the receptivity of your invites, because people feel like they're getting to know you and that you're adding value to them when you work on sharing to these specific questions. So you want people to know, like, and trust you and value what you have to offer. Calls to action. So I recommend making direct calls to action in your posts at least 2 times a week. And so this is like specifically talking about a challenge group. And then at the end of it, you say, like on Instagram, I might say, fill out the health questionnaire in my bio, right? That pulls in all their questions. Or you could say, I put some examples. Like, you have to tell people what to do, because if they're scrolling and they're reading, like, I think we as human creatures, like, we need somebody to say, like, bookmark this post or tag a friend or like share this or comment here if you're interested, right? So examples are, I'm always here to help. You can add that to the end of a post. I'd love to chat with you about your goals and how I can help. Everyone has a day one. When is yours? Comment if you want more information. I have 5 spots left I have 5 spots open to help new customers this month. I'm looking for 5 women to mentor this month. Fill out the application in my bio, drop an emoji for more information, like this post if you are working on wellness goals too. But like, putting these calls to action are so important because it shows people you are inviting them to something and it gives them an action to take. And I just want to say this, don't stress if you put this and no one comments an emoji or no one comments anything. Like, that's also totally normal. But I still go back to those posts and invite anyone that liked and or commented on it. But I think it's so important to give those calls to action, even if people aren't necessarily always engaging with them. They will over time, but it shows them that you're inviting them to something, right? It's not just saying like, here's my amazing wellness community and everything we're doing in it, and then it's like done. It's saying, join me. It's like, gosh, what does Kelsey say the way she says it? It's, instead of saying, look at me, it's saying, come do this with me, right? Other ways to invite, I like using the Unfold app for invite stories. What I personally do is I have an album in my phone of edited photos that are coaching photos. So like from Summit, from trips of myself and, coaches on the team, fitness photos, whatever. I have an album of coaching photos so that when I want to make invite stories, I don't have to hunt through my phone to find the photos or edit them. They're already done and edited, right? And that way, when I want to make an invite story, I can click on a photo of a meal that I made or meal prep, and I can click on a fitness photo and say, do you have goals that you're working on this year? And that's a really great way to invite. And then I just put a poll at the end of it. You can use those same questions that we just talked about of, who is it you're looking to help? What are they struggling with? You can use those types of content in your Unfold app for stories to draw people in and then say, are you interested in learning more about my boot camp this month, right? Or are you interested in learning more about coaching? You can add text. Annalisa does this a lot, and I think it always looks so cute. She adds text to her workout videos that'll say like, are you looking to, embrace home fitness and, get on track with nutrition this year? Like, reach out to me for info. So you can just add, text to your workout videos. Like, figure out a way to add little things here and there to add value or invite people to join what it is you're showing them that you're doing. Talk about coaching or your boot camp and put up a poll for more info. So maybe you want to talk a little bit on your story about how you love getting on team calls every single Wednesday night because you get to learn from other coaches of how to be successful in this business. Like, is learning more about being a health and fitness coach something you've ever thought about, right? And put up a poll. And also make sure that you had polls for things that have nothing to do with coaching, fitness, and nutrition. I put up a lot of posts of like, are you tired as a mom? Like, do you like this type of, work, like whatever. Just give people ways to engage with you, because I find the more that I put up things for people to engage in that have nothing to do with Beachbody, the more I'm starting to see them engage with things that are, because it's like they're interacting with me, and then when they see that I'm inviting them to something, they're more likely to interact with that when they've been interacting and kind of building a relationship with me outside of that.
You're teaching them to engage with you. That's
Yes.
you're basically training everybody to engage.
Yes.
And everyone has an opinion.
Yes.
That's what the social media experts would say.
I think we have grounds to say we're semi-experts, right? We've been around a while. All right, I would love to hear from you guys. I know we're about at our time limit. If you have any questions, what was helpful? I will be posting the recording if you need to tag somebody in this, and I will make sure that I share the slides in the team page too if you want to go back through them. Does anybody have questions?
I was going to add one other thing, unless people have questions.
Was this helpful to those of you, like, do you feel like this is going to give you more confidence going into invites this year? That was our hopes for this call. Yes.
Just remember that, and Dana, you talked about this, but just keep in mind, like the people you reach out to on day one, they're not going to join you on day one. They're just not. That's just the way this goes. They have to watch you. They have to see that you're consistent. They have to see that you're showing up for your own journey. You have to be you got to put it out there. And my coach, Lauren, would always tell me, like, the people that you're inviting today on day one are the people that might join you in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. I've had people that strung me along for a year and a half, like it happens. And set the expectation, go back to that servant heart when you're sitting down to do this. Like, that's just the only way. And when you're very consistent and you're showing up every single day, no matter what, people start reaching out to you.
Yeah.
When you're just being real, like like just show the good and the bad. Like, people don't want perfection on your page right now. They really don't. And I think right now more than anything, people don't like everything to just be perfect, because that's no one. That's not appealing. Like, to see the hot messness, to see, I mean, you guys, it was crazy just for me sharing. And clearly I was like freaking out about my dog over the past like 4 days. The amount of people that wrote me privately that I have no clue who these people were, but they were writing nonstop saying, we've been waiting for the update. We've been waiting to hear. Like, I mean, it was so, and I was like, oh my God, like, thank you so much. And like, they're watching whether we believe it or not. Like, and these people weren't like my friends. Like, I've never spoken to them in my life or even had a conversation with them, but they're watching, and they're invested in you, and they're invested with what is going on in your life. And there's a lot of Beachbody coaches that are out there. Clearly, we know that. But there's people, you are going to, all of us are going to connect to other people in different ways. And that's the nice part, is you just keep speaking to you. Speak to all the yous out there that were stuck, that would die to have something like this 10 years ago when we were wishing we had something. And just be real and authentic in you, in a hot mess and all your good stuff, and show your whole, your world. Like, just show you, and not just Beachbody. Beachbody is just a glimmer of you, but it's not you. It's just making you a healthier you, so just share that. And, but take those steps of inviting, guys, behind the scenes, because that's really where, think about, you're inviting to like your best friends, like you're inviting your best friends to join you on this amazing, awesome party, and you just can't wait for them all to come and join you. Like, you can create who your team is. You can create who all this is. And, you can't do that in the real world of working. So it's just, make it fun, but step out of your comfort zone, or else you're going to sit here 1 year from now and you're going to say, God damn it, I didn't do it again. And you're stuck in the same position. Instead, rip those Band-Aids off and just let it go.
Yes, I love that.
Definitely
It's so
agree to
true.
that.
And I want to just add this on because I think this is really important too, is that you have to decide at the beginning of the year if you are interested in hitting your goals or if you are committed to hitting your goals, because there's a very different energy that we show up with, right? And I say this because I am coming off 2 really hard years of health issues, and I've been getting my ass kicked, and I still am sometimes. So the way that I'm having to run my business is different to make room for, not having as much energy as I did. But I mean, there was many years where I just was flying, right? And crushing goals and rank advancing and bringing on coaches and like just taking massive action. And it was really hard for me when I kind of had to scale back what I was doing. But I look back at this time and I tell you this because for me, instead of when my life got overwhelming or things got hard, instead of coaching and inviting and all of those things being, oh my gosh, that's too much for me. I have too much going on in my life right now. I'm too overwhelmed. I'll come back to the business when things calm down. I have always, number one, looked at this business as a way to lean in to keep myself afloat and keep myself going, because fitness and nutrition and community and personal growth, right? It helps us no matter what season of life we are in, right? So keeping that commitment to yourself, but also remembering that when you are struggling and going through hardship and shit isn't going your way, that it's an incredibly powerful way for you to find purpose in your struggles, and also show other people how they can get through those, right? That last year was an incredibly hard year. This year probably will be as well, but we get to choose what we focus to control on, like what we choose to control, right? We can focus on what we control. That's what I'm looking for here. And that you can be the example of that, of how to work through things, of how to show up anyways, like of how to have that determination and that consistency. And it might look different in different seasons, and that's fine, but like it is so important if you truly want to make a big change in your own life, but if you want to make an impact on other people, and more importantly, if you really want to grow this business, that you're committed to it. Like, I made a commitment when I started coaching that I was never going to go anywhere no matter what. Right? That's why I'm still here almost 7 years later. And there have been so many ups and downs, but if you really find it within yourself to believe that what we do is incredibly powerful, that you make an impact in people's lives, and that you will show up and figure it out no matter the season you're at in your life, then you will always be able to show up and move forward. It is so much harder in this business when you step back and you take a month off, or you take a couple months off, and then you come back and you have to start all over again, all building the new connections, starting your posts all over again, gaining traction again, following up with those conversations that you haven't gone back to in 6 months or whatever. If you just remember to find a way to be consistent in every season, you will be able to continue to grow. And more importantly, you will never lose that momentum, right? If you can keep that momentum, you can always keep growing from that. So I just want to encourage you guys to think about that this year. Have those visions, have those goals for yourself, hang that vision board up, think about and feel, what is it going to feel like if you actually show up and go all in on your business, whatever those goals are. It might just be to make $500 a month. It might be to eventually work to the place there where you can work less hours, right? Or to have the funds to pay off debt, or whatever it is that you want for your family. I don't know what your dreams are, right? This business can fuel those things. And I want you to really take some time and even get in the habit of, before you sit down and do this inviting and work your business, connect to the feelings of what it's going to feel like if those things, or when those things become real for you, right? That's really powerful. It's a really powerful way to go into your work in this business, to connect to the dots of where those little actions are taking you. Because sending 15 invites might feel kind of insignificant, right? like it's really not that much and we don't feel like it's getting us anywhere. But if we are consistently taking those small actions every single day, consistently over time, no matter what, they bring you to really incredible places. All right, we're gonna call it a night because it's late. Did anybody take a boomerang?
Did a boomerang. No, I
Somebody
think I got a
please.
picture. Hold on. All right. Can we boomerang?
Do, do, do.
You gotta move though when you boomerang. 1, 2, 3. All right.
All right, see you next week.
All right, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.